Hello and welcome friends. I am Neha Bhushan, Assistant Professor, Department of Mass Communication, Sharda University. I have over 8 years of experience in media academics and research. In today's episode, we will talk about the history of media and gender debates in India. The objective of today's topic would be to understand the history of media from the gender point of view, to know the role of media in gender construction, and to analyze the representation of male, female, and the third gender in media and advertising. So let's discuss the history of media and gender in India. When you look at the entire history of media and journalism in India, you will find that the representation of men, women, and the third gender is not equal. The studies suggest that women and the third gender contributes less than the contribution of men. When we talk about the history of journalism and media education in India, the credit goes to British socialist, women's rights activist and writer-publisher Dr. Annie Besant. Dr. Annie Besant had initiated the first journalism course at the National University, Madras, under the aegis of Theosophical Society in 1920. New India was an early 20th century daily newspaper published in India by Dr. Annie Besant. Dr. Besant paid special attention to the professional journalism. She arranged practical training for the students in the office of New India. Omai Vyarawala was India's first women photojournalist. She was amongst the first women in India to join a mainstream publication when she joined the Illustrated Weekly of India. Padmini Prakash made history by becoming the first Indian transgender news anchor in the Tamil channel Lotus News in 2014. Apsara Reddy is another Indian trans women journalist. She has worked with the BBC World Services, The Hindu, News Indian Express, and Deccan Chronicle. Role of media in gender construction. Let's discuss the role of media in gender construction. According to World Health Organization, gender refers to the socially constructed characteristics of men, women, girls, and boys. People are born female or male, but learn to be girls and boys, who grow into women and men. This learned behavior makes up gender identity and determines our gender roles. As a social construct, gender varies from society to society and can change over time. As gender is a social construct, media plays a vital role in constructing gender. Media shapes how society views and identifies male, female, and even the third gender characteristics. Media can significantly influence and alter the way society perceives each gender. Mass media is often blamed for symbolically annihilate women and third gender. George Gerbner used this term symbolic annihilation in the year 1976 to describe the absence of presentation or underrepresentation of some group of people in the media, often based on their race, sex, or sexual orientation. According to social role theory, gender stereotypes derive from the discrepant distribution of men and women into social roles at work and home. Women's participation, performance, and portrayal in media have always been the topic of debate in India. Not only women, but men also have been represented stereotypically by the Indian media. You may also find significantly less coverage and stereotypical representation of third gender or transgender. Media and the representation of women and men, the media has tremendous power to bring gender equality in the country. The Global Media Monitoring Project (GMMP) is the most extensive international study of gender in the news media that aims to change the representation of women in the news media. Every 5 years since 1995, the Global Media Monitoring Project collects data on the indicators of gender in the news, such as the presence of women, gender biasness, and stereotyping. Preliminary data from the Global Media Monitoring Project 2020 indicates that the presence of women in Indian news media has declined over the past decade. According to the Global Media Monitoring Project, in the year 2015, women continued to be marginalized from the news agenda, mostly not even reaching one-third of the news sources or as reporters. However, they have made improvements in terms of reading the news as announcers. This is arguably a consequence of the feminization or intimidation of news, where women's softer voice and eye appeal as anchor or TV announcers conform more readily to news as infotainment. According to the study conducted by the Network of Women in Media India, women and trans people were rarely present as protagonists, sources, and experts at the time of the pandemic. News stories on the whole tended to quote men more. The report recommended that the media amplifies the voices of women and other marginalized genders as news sources and experts. All newsrooms should maintain a database of women experts on different issues and use that database proactively in all the stories, not just those which are related to only women. In Indian media, it can be observed that men mostly reported hard news like politics, economics. In contrast, women are mostly restricted to the soft news like entertainment and lifestyle. After the Nirbhaya gang rape case in the year 2013, we can see too much coverage of rape-related stories appear to be highly commercial business for the new media organizations. The media have neglected many other domestic violence-related stories. On television, mostly the portrayal of women is superficial. It is rarely linked with their real concerns. The profit-driven Indian film industry also portray women as screaming, yelling, and crying types as they react to stressful situations. Assertive women in the film are often tagged as bad. Objectification of women can be seen with the presence of item songs in the most of the films. Although you may also find few examples where media attempted to erase the negative gender stereotype by projecting women's solid and authoritative image in fictional programs and advertisements. So, you can say that not only media represents reality, but at the same time also construct reality. We have often seen how media stereotype men as powerful and dominant by representing various ideas about masculinity. Male characters are often represented as tough, strong, adventurous, aggressive, and as leaders. Mostly media associate men with the public sphere of work rather than the private sphere of the home. These type of portrayal of men by the media reinforce particular assumptions about how men should act in the society. Also, there is very little media coverage on men's issues in the society. Let's discuss some interesting case studies. The first case study is about the media coverage in Shaira Bano case. On 22nd of August 2017, the 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court pronounced their decision in the Triple Talaq case, declaring that the practice was unconstitutional by the 3:2 majority. This judgment was based on the petition filed by a women survivor, Shaira Bano, who faced severe domestic violence, physical assault, including demand for dowry and multiple abortions for nearly 15 years, leading to health problems and depression. She had filed a petition before the Supreme Court seeking a declaration that the practice of polygamy and nikah halala in Muslim personal law are illegal and unconstitutional and in violation of Article 14, 15, 21 and 25 of Indian Constitution, that are equality before law, non-discrimination, right to life with dignity and right to freedom of religion. In Shaira Banu case, media has created hype about talaq instead of highlighting the positive judgments in favor of Muslim women. The media has preferred to endorse the view on triple talaq. Due to this misconception, Shaira Banu received wide media publicity as the first Muslim woman to challenge the constitutional validity of instantaneous triple talaq. In Shaira Banu case, the domestic violence suffered by her had not been given any importance by the media. Her religion and the projection that she is a victim of oppressive personal laws set a special status for her. Another case study is the Noida double murder case. On 16th May 2008, the most mysterious murder case which is still unsolved took place. It is well known by the name of Arushi Talwar murder case, where a 14-year-old girl, Arushi Talwar, and a 45-year-old man, Hemraj, were murdered. Arushi was the only child of Dr. Rajesh Talwar and Dr. Nupur Talwar, and Hemraj was their domestic worker who lived with them. Arushi's parents found her body lying dead. The main accused of the event, their domestic help, Hemraj, went missing. However, on the following day, Hemraj was also found dead on the terrace. Failure to secure the crime scene brought heavy criticism to the police. Insensitive reporting had been done by both print and electronic media in this double murder case. The court reprimanded both print and electronic media for meddling with the right to defense of the accused. The media objectified and defamed a dead minor girl by dramatizing the objectionable scenes of Arushi and Hemraj together. After that incident, the media branded the parents as murderers for a decade and sensationalized the case. Next case study is of fake sting operation Uma Khurana case. Live India, a television news channel, aired a program on 30th August 2007, a sting operation showing a government school teacher Uma Khurana forcing a girl student into prostitution. As a result of this telecast, a crowd gathered at the school gate. It started raising slogans demanding handing over of Miss Uma Khurana to them. This led to a physical attack on Miss Uma Khurana and her suspension from the services. Later, it was proved that the sting operation was fake. The girl, shown as a student who was allegedly being forced into prostitution by Miss Uma Khurana, was neither a schoolgirl nor a prostitute but a budding journalist eager to make a name in the media world. Another case study is a Jessica Lal murder case. On April 29, 1999, Jessica Lal, a model, barmaid, shot dead by Manu Sharma, the son of a wealthy and influential member of the parliament from Haryana. He walked into the party with 3 friends and demanded liquor at midnight, offering some money. Jessica Lal refused and Sharma then shot her. Manu Sharma was later convicted for the murder and sentenced to prison. In this case, media played a vital role in providing justice to the victim. Many campaigns ran by the media so that the victim could get justice. The media took a particular interest in Jessica Lal murder case as the coverage of violence against women. Now let's discuss next case study, Shah Banu case versus Muhammad Ahmad Khan, popularly known as Shah Banu case, is one of the examples of a complex problem related to minority rights and women which are found in our society. Shah Banu is a Muslim woman, a mother of 5 children and a divorcee of the affluent and famous advocate from Indore, Madhya Pradesh, Muhammad Ahmad Khan. Shah Banu case is a controversial maintenance lawsuit in India. Banu is a woman in her 60s who fought with her husband to get maintenance after divorce. In April 1978, Muhammad Ahmad Khan divorced Shah Banu after his second marriage and refused to provide her promised maintenance. Banu files a plea in a local court against her husband under the section 125 of Criminal Procedure Code, asking him to provide the money for her and her children. In November the same year, Muhammad Ahmad Khan gave Shah Banu an irrevocable talaq. He says that since she is not his wife under Islamic law, he is not obliged to pay her the maintenance. In August 1979, Shah Banu won a maintenance case with the local court ordering Khan to provide rupees 25 per month. Banu continued to fight for her rights. The 1986 Muslim Women Protection on Rights of Divorce Act diluted the Supreme Court judgment and allowed maintenance to a divorced woman only during the period of iddat, or till 90 days after the divorce. The judgment was criticized among the Muslim community as it conflicted with the rules of Quran and Islamic law. However, in the later judgments, the Supreme Court of India interpreted the Act to reassure the validity of the case and consequently upheld the Shah Banu judgment and the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Divorce Act 1986 nullified. Some Muslims, including the All India Shia Personal Law Board, supported the Supreme Court's order to make the right to maintenance of a divorced Muslim wife absolute. This triple talaq case got wide media publicity. Another case study is of Gauri Lankesh case. On September 5, 2017, an activist, Gauri Lankesh, was shot dead right outside her home in the southern city of Bangalore by unknown attackers on a bike. Lankesh was a journalist turned activist known for criticizing right-wing Hindu extremism when this incident took place. Her tabloid was vocal on secularism, the rights of Dalits and women. Gauri Lankesh was trolled by many people. After her murder, there were various debates in media on the safety concerns of women journalists. The murder was condemned by several people and organizations. In the year 2015, Minister of State and Information Broadcasting Rajyavardhan Singh Rathod said that women in media would be better off pursuing off-field roles like news analysis instead of field reporting because of safety, challenging working conditions and odd work hours. He afterwards denied making this statement following social media outrage. However, you can find such things said by many politicians in abundance. Media and the representation of third gender and transgender. As we know, transgender people have a gender identity or gender expression that differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. Indian media welcomed the Supreme Court's landmark judgment for Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code that recognized transgender people as third gender in India on September 6, 2018. Third gender communities face many problems in the society. Studies shows that sexual violence is one of the terrible issues faced by transgender community. However, there is hardly any media coverage on this issue. You can often see the stereotypical representation of the third gender in the mainstream media. Now, let's discuss some interesting case studies. Pushkin murder, sensationalization of gay culture overshadows motive behind killing. On 13th August 2004, two gay men, Pushkin Chandra and Kuldeep Singh, were murdered in a posh New Delhi locality. The media showed an extraordinary interest in covering the murder case. Front page headlines with pictures and details of the victim's life had been covered by the media. However, such coverage led to debates about various gays and lesbian communities. The focus of the debate tended to move away from the murder and the crime. Instead, the media started representing gay and lesbian culture in India. The gay activist Ashok Rao Kavi accused the media of using the incident to stereotype the queer community as criminal. Swapan Das Gupta, another journalist, alleged the media for diverting the main subject of the crime and punishment in the Pushkin case. Another case study is of Vicks ad Generation of Care by Gauri Sawant. On March 29, 2017, Vicks brand created an advertisement to promote the product by striking the most sensitive nerve of the Indian population. The 3.5 minute video tells the story of a young girl, Gayatri, who is on her way to boarding school. Gayatri, who does not know anything about her father, who also lost her mother to a life threatening disease 10 years ago. Gauri Sawant later adopted her. In the ad, the girl narrates the adversities faced by her new mother. Midway in the ad, the mother is revealed to be transgender. The girl contemplates that her mother is not treated well and equally by the society. Thus, she aspires to become a lawyer to fight for her mother's equal rights and likes, where her new mother wants her to become a doctor. The ad has received 10 million views on YouTube and has been one of the most touching ad. With subtle product placement in the video, the Vicks VapoRub ad calls the attention of the vast Indian society towards the concerns of the neglected and harassed transgender women of India. It showcases the capability and caliber of such a woman in rising and taking care of a girl child all by herself through the true story of Gauri Sawant and her daughter Gayatri. So, gender is a social construct. Media plays a very vital role in constructing gender. The representation of men, women, and the third gender is not equal in India's media and journalism history. Media often stereotype men as powerful, dominant by representing various ideas about masculinity. Women are marginalized from the news agenda, mostly not even reaching one third of news sources or as reporters. Stereotypical representation of the third gender in the mainstream media is also widespread. Sexual violence is one of the terrible issues faced by the transgender community. However, there is hardly any media coverage on such issues. Stereotypical representation of the gender may promote an unbalanced vision of the role of any gender in our society. It can be said that the equal participation of each gender in news reporting can result in improvements in the presentation of particular gender. So, that's all for the day. Thank you and have a nice day.